Good Tuesday evening. We had a couple of Tuesdays break. I'm starting 5-6 minutes early. Um, Kevin is not with me yet, but I want to give a what do you high five? Do we do high fives or is it just thumbs up or anyway? I don't know what we do. Elbow bump, whatever. Um, just wanted to reach out to everybody and anybody that may be listening and give you a warning that we are going live here in just a few. Well, actually, I'm going live now, but Kevin's going to join me and we're going to do our regular 2 hour special coming up. And we got some interesting things to share tonight. Um, and so we still are in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. There are pandemic deniers, just like there's climate deniers, whatever. And I want to take just this few minutes before our regularly scheduled program to just say peace to everyone. I hope everyone's doing fine. I hope everyone is, even though we haven't flatlined or leveled out this pandemic, and what they're talking about with that is that it's still increasing. We haven't got it to where it's flatlined. Hopefully we'll get there. We can't say when at this point, and we still have a ways to go. But in the meantime, we can level out our own personal lives. Whatever is happening in your life, just chill. Take a breath. Enjoy the moments. There are so many things about life that I think, and this gives us opportunity. I'm not saying this pandemic's a good thing. I'm not saying that there's, oh, I'm glad this happened. No, but we can take something positive away from this, and that positive, quite honestly, is simply that we've got time to reflect about what's important in our lives. We've got time to reflect on what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. Not only as a society, not only as a people, but also individually. We got time to sit back and think, let me reevaluate my life. What I've done this for. Maybe you're 20 and you don't have that much life behind you, but you've got some. You kind of can detect which way you're kind of wanting to go. Maybe you got time to slow down, sit still, evaluate what you want out of life, where you're going to go in life, and that sort of thing. Now, maybe you're 40, maybe you're 60, maybe you're 70. We can all take this time to sit back. What's important? I just wrote a short piece that I shared on social media a while ago. Weddings has been my thing, and here's Kevin coming to join me now. But anyway, weddings has been my thing for a while, and I took this opportunity to write just a very short piece to distinguish between a wedding and a marriage. And so that kind of thing now, we've got that time to kind of sit back. No, this is not fun. This is not what we want. People are getting sick. People are dying. But it is time we can sit back and we can reflect on where we're going in life, what we can do better in life. And if we have to, we can reinvent ourselves. We can figure out where we want to go. It's 2 minutes till. I'm going to bring my buddy Kevin on here. Hello, Kevin.
Hello.
You there?
Hello.
Are you sleeping?
Am I sleeping?
Are you asleep?
No.
All right. We have missed a couple of Tuesdays simply because Kevin has moved up in the world. He now no longer has a garden home. He has an estate. So, and I mean, if you haven't seen the pictures of this property, he's probably, you know what? Have you been to Graceland, Elvis's house?
Huh?
Yeah. So you know the gate.
You know the
gate. Okay. So, so are you going to put gates at your estate and have dolls on the gate?
No, I wasn't planning on doing that.
Oh my goodness, you should have. That'd be perfect for you. You know, you could have the gates and the guard shack, and you're gonna go down in Alabama history here, Kevin.
Now, I like the way the driveway kind of you pull through the driveway. Looks like something off of like a greeting card or something,
Right.
countryside.
I don't recall seeing, I don't recall seeing a picture of that. You shared
The
some
driveway.
pictures. Yeah.
I'll have to take a picture of that.
Well, hopefully you're going to invite me over to see what that looks like some point. You still unpacking?
Oh yeah, we still got a lot in the garage to unpack, getting stuff in the attic, and
So you're
finally start
getting your dad
storage.
settled in.
Yeah.
And what about your brother? Is he moving into the little mother-in-law house?
Yeah, he's already in the cottage back there.
Okay, man, that is awesome. I'm surprised. I'm surprised at that. You're even still talking to me. Jeez. Uh,
I'm here.
okay.
Yes, we see black.
The game's all here, and she's in the outer darkness, I believe.
And
But
the olive.
anyway, cryptids, and this is upon Kevin claims to be working at home, but I think he's just browsing the internet all day. But he shot. That was a fascinating little film, and I printed out the story behind that. I don't know if you got that story or not from that video.
I have what the lady wrote on YouTube. Lady that filmed it did the YouTube post.
So,
she wrote.
So you've got the same thing that I've got.
Probably.
Okay. Now, what I noticed a couple of things, and I'll let you share that story in a minute. But first of all, the lady that uploaded this video, she deals with merchant accounts and has nothing else like this on her YouTube channel at all. This is the only thing on her YouTube channel that everything else is about her merchant account business and that sort of stuff. Okay. At the end of the article, it referenced a website called Boca Bike Shop, and that website is no longer functioning, but they do have a Facebook page, and it's a bicycle place where they sell bicycles. But I went also to her LinkedIn page, and I mean, she doesn't talk about cryptids. She doesn't talk about Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster. She's just got that one video up there, which to me, Kevin, adds a little bit more credence to her story.
Yeah.
So let me first of all share the video, okay?
Okay.
And then after that you can tell us about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do the audio. Just bear with me a second. When I get there, I gotta find where I got it opened up at.
I think we're having a little bit of internet problems.
Hold on. You must be. We're not.
Can you hear me, Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Coming up. Oh my gosh. Hold on. No, stop. Something. Let it come up. What the fuck is that? Go. Go. I don't know what that is, Dan. Just hold on. Just stay. Stay. It's coming up over there. It's over there. What the fuck is that?
Okay. Clearly they were a little bit excited and used some nice language there in their excitement. I researched in a short period of time. I didn't go with it, but you're going to share that what she wrote about it. Sanibel, that she refers to in that writing, is a very it's a small little town in Florida, And of course, then it referenced that Boca bike shop. The interesting thing I still find about this as you share this was from 6 years ago. This is not recent. Okay.
Yeah.
And nowhere else in anything that this lady presents and any of her stuff. And by the way, I want to reference her name is Patricia Carlin, and she is an expert in direct merchant accounts. And that's what she's all about. She's got nothing else anywhere to come close to anything about cryptids or Bigfoot or ghost or paranormal or anything. It's totally, if you looked her up and you researched all her social media stuff, she's not connected with any of that kind of stuff. To me, that adds a little bit of credence to her story. So are you ready to share that story with us?
Yeah, and I first heard about this clip when I was watching a show on Travel Channel called Caught on Camera, or I actually think it's Paranormal Caught on Camera. This is just a few nights ago, but it was a rerun of an episode that actually aired a few weeks ago. But that's where I first saw this clip. I'd not heard of it or seen it before. But she writes, she's the one who posted that video, and she writes on here, excuse the language we use in this clip. We were terrified. I have grown up in South Florida and have spent my entire life on the waters. I have also seen thousands of manatee over the years. Dave and I, which I think Dave is her husband, I were rented a boat to go fishing in Sanibel like we have many times before. On our way back from fishing, we see a small group of manatee near the shore. That's why we slowed the boat down. All of a sudden, we see what looked like a giant anaconda or python snake longer than our boat, which is 20 feet, and as thick as a large utility pole, speeding towards the manatee. It was either a massive anaconda or a sea monster. Whatever came out of the water scared the life out of my husband and I. We were fishing on our boat in the shallow bay area of Sanibel Island, Florida on October 6, 2013, when we saw what looked like a bus speeding through the water. At first, we thought we were watching manatees swimming, which we see all the time, but this animal was moving very fast and looked to be attacking something. All of a sudden, part of its body sprung out of the water and appeared to have something wrapped up in it. Then it was gone. We honestly don't know what it was, but its head resembled a snake and the body looked like a giant 30-plus foot snake. If a cement utility pole was lying down horizontally, that would be the width and length of this sea creature. Let me clarify a few points. I have spent my entire life in Florida. I've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of dolphin and manatee over the years, and what we saw and encountered was neither of those, nor was it a whale. The title we put on YouTube was to stand out from the millions of video and have someone confirm what we saw. We are now having the video slowed down into individual photos by a marine life expert. Also, the reason the video stopped was because my iPhone went dead, or I would have continued to film. Now, let me explain what exactly happened. We were coming back from fishing when we saw a group of manatees swimming along the tree-lined bank. We were going to drop a line in, but didn't because of the manatee. All of a sudden, it looked like a shark started to attack the pack. I wasn't filming because you don't expect to see something like this. The group of manatees started heading left while whatever was thrashing around the water appeared to have hold of one of them. The water was moving so fast that we knew it was something else. Then I took out my phone, and whatever was in the water was moving so fast from one location to the next, and then we see it come out of the water. Its full body was coiled in 3 sections, no vertebrae in there, and it was coiled around something. It was dark on the top and lighter on the bottom, and the width was that of a utility pole. Keep in mind that whatever it was had the same length of our boat, maybe bigger, but we had no clue what could happen. It's like a horror movie. We are very normal people and spend a lot of time in Sanibel. Even the main local fisherman who does all the charters watched it many times and could not figure out what this is. What he did confirm after spending 20 plus years and 8 hours a day fishing in those waters is that it's not a group of manatee, not a whale, not an oarfish, or a dolphin. And that's all she wrote. So I definitely thought it had sort of a serpent-like appearance to the body, and it does look like when you're watching the video when it comes up out of the water. On the left side, it's like this part of the body is wrapped around a manatee or something, pulling it under. And when they showed it on the caught on camera show a few nights ago, they slowed it down really well so you could see, and they highlighted, what they were talking about with the animal wrapped in its body there, like it was pulling it under.
Right.
Oh, that makes me not.
Well, one last time, let me.
And she and her husband were interviewed on the show, and she said she's not going to set a toe in that water ever again.
Well, when she wrote it, what I got from where the YouTube video was that she wasn't calling him her husband at that point. At that point, he was
fiance, but
fiance, right?
Yeah, they're married now. On the show, they were.
Yes, yes. Okay, let me let's watch this one more time. You ready?
Yeah.
It's right here. It's right here. Holy mackerel. What the hell is this thing? It's coming up. Oh my God. Hold on. No, stop. Something. Let it come up. What the fuck is that? Go. Go. I don't know what that is, Dan. Just hold on. Just stay. Stay. It's coming up over there. It's over there. What the fuck is that?
Okay. A couple of things there. Number one, I don't think they were out in open waters. That looked like kind of a bay area, or you know what I'm talking about? Because usually you don't see that kind of a but it was a good water. Just because it wasn't out in open waters doesn't mean it was shallow or anything. It was deep enough water to have waves and whatnot in it. But it seems legitimate. I mean, I don't see anything that would make me think that it was faked or CGI'd or anything like that.
No.
I don't know. I know this, and I've read this many times, that we know less about what's at the bottom of our oceans than we do about what's on the moon or whatever,
Yeah, there are parts of the ocean that are miles and miles deep, and I mean, there's no way. The Earth is covered in it, so there's no way to cover every square inch of the bodies of water we have to know exactly what's what, and what all we have, and what could still be lurking out there. I'm not convinced all of the prehistoric creatures are gone. I wouldn't be surprised if the megalodon was still out there, plesiosaurs.
Well, all I have to do to convince myself about the prehistoric creatures is look in the mirror.
Yeah.
So, anyway, if anybody's got any thoughts or anything they'd like to share as to what they think about this video, this creature, or whatever, don't be afraid to bring it into the chat room. I think Catherine is monitoring that. I don't know if anybody. Okay. Is anybody monitoring the YouTube chat room? Can you open up two windows for that?
I can.
Okay. Okay. Is anybody monitoring the YouTube? Oh, hold on. All right. I don't see anybody there now. Okay. Um, so to go away from that subject for a moment, and I guess what we can do, Kevin, since you got some, thanks to you, we've got on this subject, we can look up some good sea monster stories to share.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, boy, maybe maybe they feel safe coming because there's less humans moving around the earth right now. I don't know. But that's a 6-year-old, yeah, 6.5-year-old video from what I could tell where it was posted on YouTube.
Yeah.
So a quick question: have you got your dolls all unpacked? Have you got a room set up for them?
I mean, I have a big den here. My dad has in the living room, and I've got a big den here. And I've got some of the dolls are unpacked and in there. There's a whole lot more to get out. So that's a project all on its own there. We got to get things out of storage and get it moved in the house.
So the room that you're sitting in there, is that kind of an office for you?
This is an office, and it's a bigger room than what you see.
Yeah, well, just
Desk back here and his work area, and this is my work area.
I mean that just from the little bit of the room I see, that room looks almost as big as your other house.
Yeah, it's pretty good size. It's a little bit, it's bigger than the office I had at the other house for sure.
Well, I'm sure you're happy to be there.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do Halloween now? You got all that land. Are you going to have are you going to have to buy some inflatables and whatnot? And we need to do a haunted something at your house, right?
I've got some inflatables, that I used, I would change out at the old house, and now I can put all three of them out there on the front yard. So I'm set with that.
Well, we got something else we can add to the equation. We found a huge 60, I forget how big, a huge screen for an outdoor projector.
Oh.
So we could play movies. Scary movies.
It's at least 10 foot wide.
Yeah.
Oh.
We could have our own drive-in out there and charge. You could pop popcorn and
Yeah, you can do that.
yeah. Well, congratulations to you. So you're going to look up some sea monster stuff that we can talk about here to add to this, to add to the theme of the night.
Yeah.
And bear with us.
Okay, while y'all are looking up something, Kevin, you saw what I found yesterday.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Last night, I got a Victrola, and last night I was in bed, and the darn thing started playing. And you have to wind it up to play, and we had played it out, and all I could hear was that music last night. It was so cool.
Uh-huh.
How do y'all?
Yeah.
Does my new microphone sound good?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear any background noise?
No,
The only thing I can
Pardon?
say is it makes you sound a little bit nasal.
Well, I got a little bit of a allergies going on.
Gosh, I mean, when I look at this, I mean, let me see here. You find anything there, Kevin, to share?
I was sharing the video here to the rest of the places, and I mean when I think of sea monsters, first thing that comes to my mind is the kraken,
Oh, yes, yes.
big giant octopus.
We got Drew watching
Okay.
down there. I'm sorry, I just interrupted you there for a second. So, if you're just coming on, Kevin had watched some, I guess, TV show, Kevin?
Yeah, paranormal caught on camera.
Yeah, and so they were highlighting this video from 6 years ago. What I find that he shared with me was posted October 8th, 2013, down in Florida, and you just can go back. And I've also posted the link to this video on our Normal Alabama page, and it looks legit. And that kind of got us started off with the sea monsters. And so I think that Kevin is going to share with us a sea monster story.
Yeah, I wanted to read a little about this kraken, which is a reportedly a legendary monster, a huge, gigantic octopus, and it's said to be the size of an island. And it's actually believed that it once sunk 10 British warships in the Norwegian Sea. Sailors have long passed stories on detailing interactions with a beast known as the kraken. The monster is said to inhabit the waters off the coast of Norway and Greenland. Some believe it even attacked vessels passing through that area. First-hand accounts describe the animal as a monstrous squid measuring up to 60 feet in length. And there was an account in 1746. A naval officer named Lawrence de Ferry claims that he shot at such a creature while at sea, and that after being hit, the creature dived into the water and was gone. In 1802, French zoologist Pierre Denis de Montfort, if I'm pronouncing that right, claimed that 10 British warships, which had mysteriously disappeared one night in 1782, were attacked and sunk by the kraken. And that was not the last recorded sighting of the creature. In 1855, on another part of the world, a creature 55 feet long and weighing 3 tons was seen off the shores of New Zealand. The creature got the nickname kraken from the Norwegian word krake, meaning unhealthy animal. And descriptions of kraken sightings often detail undersea volcanic activity resulting in bubbles of water or sudden and dangerous currents. Some have even claimed that the mysterious creature is guarding the entrance to the lost city of Atlantis. So there you have two mythologies combining there, the kraken and the lost city of Atlantis. I don't see any modern day, recent year sightings of the kraken, but there have been of giant squid and octopus or octopi. And here's one last year, an elusive giant squid that inspired the kraken sea monster legend has been spotted in U.S. waters for the first time. Here we go. In the watery gloom, 2,500 feet below the surface, a single tentacle unfurls to explore an illuminated camera. What started as a solitary appendage is followed on screen by a mass of undulating arms that tentatively probe the object before disappearing into the darkness. Scientists have determined these arms belong to a juvenile giant squid at least 10 feet long. Now, that's a baby squid, 10 feet long, the first one caught on camera in U.S. waters. The creatures are camera shy mostly because they almost never leave the icy depths of their habit, up to 3,300 feet or about 1,000 meters beneath the waves. In 2012, scientists from Japan's National Museum of Nature and Science filmed a giant squid in its natural habitat nearly 3,000 feet down in the Ogasawara archipelago. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. By using flashing lights to imitate other bioluminescent creatures of the deep. 3 years later, the creature surfaced in the waters of Japan's Toyama Bay, but these animals have never been spotted in the U.S. until now. On June 19th, 2019, researchers on a National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration expedition captured a giant squid on camera in a stunning 25-second video in Gulf of Mexico waters, 100 miles southeast of New Orleans. It says, this is a quote, even just 100 miles off the coast, we're seeing things that they put on the corner of the maps. You know, here lie monsters. Professor Johnson of biology at Duke University and the leader of expedition told the New York Times, you could be out there and beneath you are giant squid, the things of our wildest imagination. They're part of our land. They're part of our country, he added. The expedition team, which included researchers who helped capture the first deep-sea squid footage in 2012, used the same type of technology this time to lure the tentacled swimmer to their camera. The camera system, called Medusa, sits on the end of a plastic line that the researchers spool and unspool with each deployment. It's motorless and it's quiet and doesn't scare away prey that the squid might be hunting. It's also unobtrusive, using red light that's invisible to most deep-sea creatures, but illuminates the scene for scientists on the surface. Now, I want to find if they've got a size on this thing, because there's a lot of facts on this article here. And they don't have a size on it here, it looks like. Oh, here it is. Over 16 feet or 5 meters long. This second deep-sea squid sighting is a major milestone for marine researchers who seek to dispel fear about these animals, which inspired the Kraken, a legendary sea monster that attacked ships and pulled them to the depths, as well as science fiction author Jules Verne's underwater behemoth. Most importantly, we did not find a monster, the NOAA scientists wrote in their expedition log. The giant squid is large and certainly unusual from our human perspective, but if the video shows anything of the animal's character, it shows an animal surprised by its mistake, backing off after striking at something that at first must have seemed appealing, but was obviously not food. And I've seen that footage out there on the Discovery Channel last year, or not this one, but the Japanese footage from a few years back I saw on the Discovery Channel. That thing, that squid looked huge. I thought it was more like 20, 25 feet long in what you see in the video. So they do exist. They live among us. But as for the kraken, the giant octopus, octopi can get very large, but the kraken is said to be, the size of Hawaii. So I don't know if that, if it's just a thing of legend or if something like that really ever existed. Probably did in prehistoric times and stayed around long enough just for man to get a little taste of it before it disappeared.
And that is one of the most well-known sea monsters that most of us have heard about. Maybe not the details of, but the name of it. I think there's been all kind of fictional movies made behind that as well over the years. But I'm going to share one now, and while I'm sharing this, you can see if you can find us something else to follow up here. But I'm going to talk about this guy right here, and this goes back to September of 1950, just south of Skye, off the west coast of Scotland. And it was shark fishermen. I'm just going to use the first names, Tex and James. And it was talked about in a book that was 1960, Ring of Bright Water. So this happened, believe it or not, in my lifetime, being the archaic old man that I am. So this sea monster, and I kind of got an artist depiction. They didn't have any cell phones and whatnot back in those days. So they saw this large, deep object approaching their boat, and they actually heard it breathing. And they got a reasonably close-up view of a large, humped-back, scaly creature with a rounded, turquoise-like, a large red gash of a mouth, and a prominently serrated back. Now, I want you to look at the details that they were able to give of this. I mean, that's a very detailed description, and the artist came up with that. And you look at that head in that picture there. It's the first thing you think about when you see that head is a tortoise head poking up out of. But clearly, that doesn't look like the shell of a tortoise, no matter what size you're talking about there. They described it is one point as being a hellish monster of prehistoric times, as it opened and closed its large mouth, breathing through its mouth, and having hanging structures of some sort within the mouth. Just very vivid detail they gave. They described the exposed part of the body as between 6 to 8 feet. One of them, the other one said 8 to 10 feet, both very close, within a couple of feet of each other long, and likened the head to that of a donkey in size. So it was a pretty good sized creature. The sighting was interesting enough to make it into the national news media, most prominently the Illustrated London News. This was instigated by one of the men who wrote about the encounter to a zoologist, an author named Maurice Burton, who lived from 1898 to 1992. Well known for his interest in weird animal stories and respected due to in no small part to his position at the then British Museum of London. The interesting thing about monster accounts published in that journal, the London News, is that they were invariably accompanied by highly sensationalized illustrations. This one, known as the Soy, S-O-A-Y creature, morphed then into a sea-going dragon of fabulous appearance just by these artist depictions, which for some reason you could kind of imagine as being green, even though the actual color was never mentioned. And so that one goes back to 1959. I don't know. I'm kind of like what Kevin said there. I'm not aware of any real recent sea monster stories of people seeing large beast. In fact, the one that, thanks to Kevin, we just shared at the opening of this show is the most recent I've heard about. Have you heard anything more recent? Did that show talk about any more recent sightings of anything? I'll tell you one thing that I have seen, and we kind of drift around here a little bit before you answer my question, is I have been told, even around the Birmingham area, you've heard of UFOs, USOs. If you're familiar with those. So anyway, go ahead and tell me if you know any more stories more recent than what we've already talked about. Are you with me? I don't hear you.
Oh, well, there we go. I had the mute on.
Oh,
While you were
what are you sitting there belching or something? Or
no, I was muting out my sniffling and everything while you were talking.
Oh, don't tell me. I'm glad we're doing this social distancing thing. I don't know what you've got over there.
I don't have anything. I mean, there's not a whole lot as far. I mean, there's more. I was going to say there's more. As far as recent, there's been more lake monsters seen recently than sea monsters.
Well, there's still water. Lake monsters. Do we have anything more recent than the one 6-7 years ago?
There's. Let's see.
While you're kind of skimming through that, I went. I forget what day it was now. Saturday. To Bear Creek Swamp. You familiar with that down in Prattville?
Yeah.
Didn't make the complete journey because I spent most of my time at a cemetery. And that's the best place to do social distancing is at cemeteries. But That was a huge cemetery, Oak Hill Cemetery down in Prattville. I've got like a 45-minute freaking video of that cemetery, and I still did not walk the whole thing. A lot of Civil War graves there. So I like those old tombstones and that sort of thing. But anyway, went to Bear Creek and just took a quick stop on the main road there going to Selma and did a very short video. Gonna go back, hopefully soon. Um, could go real soon because the rain did not come today like it was supposed to, and actually go down the County Road 3 right in the middle of the swamp. There's all kind of interesting stories, and that's real close to home, and it involves some possible creatures down in that area. So that's a swampy area, and right behind me at my house here is Ebenezer, um, which I've done videos of, and it's a swampy area. Excuse me, but my eyes, I got allergies too. So anyway, Kevin has found something there.
Yeah, I've got one from last year, from all the way over in China. This was September 17th, 2019. So this was less than a year ago. Something, and I'm going to try my best to pronounce these names of places and people here. It's kind of hard, but something is lurking in the deep in China's famous Yangtze River, and social media discussion is rife over what it might be. On Friday, meaning the Friday before September 17, 2019, footage appeared on China's popular Sino Weibo microblog of what appeared to be a long black creature maneuvering through the waters, and it has dominated online discussion ever since. Footage has quickly racked up millions of views, and theories are rife. Specialists have weighed in, but some think there may be a simple and less murky explanation. A video filmed off the coast of the city of Yichang in western Hubei province, close to the Three Gorges Dam, captured the unusual scene. The video has racked up more than 6 million views and hundreds of thousands of likes after being shared by the popular Pear video, and shows what looks like a giant eel or snake slithering along the surface of the water. Locals are filmed watching the creature from the shore, and social media users have similarly been captivated over theories about what the creature might be. In an interview with Pear Video, Professor Wang Chunfang from Huazhong Agricultural University dismissed the idea of it being a new species, saying it was likely a simple water snake. Some users said that external factors such as pollution could have a role to play in a sea snake growing to an extraordinary size, but not everyone was convinced. Separate footage has led some users to question whether the unidentified object is actually a living creature at all. Popular news website called The Paper shared separate footage of something long and black moving in the water that appeared to be less animated. It asked if the whole thing was simply a rumor and interviewed biologist Ding Li, who said that the object was neither a fish nor a snake, but simply a floating object. A picture has since gone viral showing a long piece of black cloth washed up on some rocks, fueling discussion that it might have been the mysterious object. Both have led to jokes about whether the local government was trying to attract tourism to the area, given the millions of dollars involved in building and maintaining the Three Gorges Dam. Others have made jokes about the quality of the footage despite the rapid development in China of high-quality smartphones. All right, so it does say the Yangtze River is the longest river in Asia, and at 3,900 miles in length is the third longest in the world, but pollution has severely affected the river in recent years, meaning that its ecosystem has become narrower rather than wider. And the largest creature thought to exist in the waters at present is the giant salamander, which can reach to up to some 1.8 meters in length. So I'd be interested to see this video if there's a way to find it out there.
If somebody links me to that video, we will share it. So I'm going to share. Catherine just shared this with me, and this just shows that we're discovering new life constantly. So this started when conservation specialist Jessica Nielsen was alerted to this really strange fish or beast creature that washed ashore at the UC Santa Barbara's Coal Oil Point Reserve in Southern California. It resembled a large sunfish, roughly 6 feet from end to end, but with its lack of tail and fused feet, it baffled researchers. And it started with that Jessica Nielsen when she was alerted about it and described it as the most remarkable organism I've seen wash up on the beach in my 4 years at the reserve. Nielsen posted photos to the reserve's Facebook page, which prompted her colleague, Thomas Turner, to take some photos of the fish, which she also posted to their research site. And it was eventually revealed, and let me add here the picture. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a beautiful beast. So this creature in question is what's known as a hoodwinker sunfish. This species was only first discovered back in 2017. Who noticed the researchers that posted pictures on social media. However, her research indicated that the hoodwinker stuck to Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and Chile, and one isolated period in the 80s when it was spotted in the Netherlands. So this is why it's so intriguing why it turned up in California. We know it has the temperature distribution around here and off the coast of Chile, but then how did it cross the equator and turn up where it did in California to have made it across the equator? No one's sure if this is the same classification of hoodwinker sunfish that was studied before, even though they have a tendency to wonder. There are plans on obtaining a genetic sample from the creature so as to better determine if this is a long wandering stray or if a new species has been hoodwinking, and that's why they go to hoodwinker, scientists off the West Coast this whole time. Very interesting, and it's a very, that's just one picture I've got showing there, but I don't know. What do you think about that beast?
I think that's amazing. I wish there was a better picture. I'm not sure how far back that the standing behind it. I'd love to see a full body picture.
Yeah,
with somebody standing next to it.
Hold on a second, and I'll find one. I can do this, and it's while I'm doing that. Have you found something else for us to go into there, Kevin?
Yeah, earlier in this conversation, anytime I think about any kind of water monster, I'm always thinking about our homeland creature, our most famous one known as Champ in the Lake Champlain, which is one of the Great Lakes up in the Northeast. And he's our version of Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. But there is a recent saying, they've got a team up there whose sole purpose is to find evidence of Champ. And there's an article last year, August 2019, of some recent proof back then. Sonar image.
I'm going to interrupt you for one second here. Here's this other picture. Is that kind of what you're looking for?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's a good. Ooh, yeah.
Hoodwinker sunfish. It doesn't look too appetizing. That's a big blob of fish.
Yeah.
Hoodwinker.
And that could be kind of frightening.
Now, I want you to look how well dressed this guy's got. A long sleeve shirt. He's got on a hat, sunglasses. He's got on gloves and jeans, but he's almost barefooted. Okay. Go ahead, Kevin, with your story.
Okay. All right. Sasquatch and Champ are two legendary upstate New York creatures that either you believe they exist or you don't. There's no definitive proof of either at this point. But earlier this month, Katie Elizabeth of Ferrisburg, Vermont, director of the Champ Search Group, claims to have taken a step in confirming the existence of Champ, the legendary Lake Champlain water monster that has been called America's Loch Ness Monster. Elizabeth has an underwater image, specifically two marks on a sonar screen, taken from a speeding boat on the lake. It was taken about 3 p.m. on August 5th, 2019, while Elizabeth and two members of her group, Frank and Teresa Horton, were out on the group's 17-foot Bayliner boat doing a 30-mile radius of echo scans of the lake's bottom on the New York and Vermont sides. Noticing they were low on gas, the threesome headed back to Port Henry on the New York side, getting up to 45 miles per hour. All the time, they keep their sonar on and continue to take pictures of the images that came up on the screen. The following day, when Elizabeth checked the sonar images, she was amazed as she examined one of them. She says she started both shaking and crying while looking at it. I knew it was Champ, she said. There were two animals. She estimated one was about 25 feet long, the other nearly 30 feet long. She added that there were protuberances on their heads. The sonar scan was taken of the lake's bottom, about 165 feet down on the Vermont side. The legend of Champ goes back hundreds of years, with sightings being reported when only Native Americans inhabited the lands around the lake. Elizabeth said it just makes sense that there must be a breeding population in the lake for them to exist to this day. She said she first became fascinated with Champ while watching the Unsolved Mysteries TV show at the age of 7. She said she had her first above water sighting in 2012 while staying at the Bhutan Bay State Park campground in Ferrisburg, Vermont. I was on shore camping and it was about 11:30 in the morning and I was eating breakfast, she said. I just saw this hump rise above the water surface and thought, what in the world was that? I grew up in Rhode Island and my father was a fisherman. I fish myself and I'm very familiar with boat waves, whales, and dolphins. Elizabeth claims to have about 10 above water sightings since she started looking for the creature 7 years ago, but says she could never get close enough or the light was just too bad to get a definitive picture or video. Her efforts to prove the existence of Champ have been featured on the History, Discovery, and Science channels, along with other media outlets. She has written one book, Water Horse of Lake Champlain, outlining her efforts to find Champ, and she is currently working on another book. In 2018, she successfully lobbied the town of Port Henry, New York, to pass a resolution to protect Champ. The State Department of Environmental Conservation refuses to acknowledge the existence of Champ or Sasquatch. Sasquatch sightings have been reported over the years in Whitehall, just south of Lake Champlain, and near Chautauqua Lake in the western part of the state. Both areas have annual festivals dedicated to the creature. The DEC does not recognize the existence of the mythological creature in Lake Champlain known as Champ, as solid scientific evidence has yet to surface. Elizabeth, in a phone interview, answered the following questions. Okay, that's just some questions there that are the same thing as what was on the article. But here's a more detailed description of the sonar image. At 45 miles per hour, typically you're doing well if you see the bottom in depth. As for targets in the water column, it's hard to know what you're looking at. Most normal fish would be blurred over on screen unless it's a big school. You might not even see it. But as for something the size of what we saw, I have no experience knowing what it would look like going at that speed. I can't dismiss it. Uh, this is one of the specialists, Jim McGowan, who looked over the sonar footage. All right, but it looks like that's all as far as the story goes. But I'll tell you this, the most famous thing about Lake Champlain is the photo that was taken. That's, to this day, nobody's been able to dispute it. Taken by Sandra Mancy. And this was back in 1977. She took a photograph. She was on vacation with her family, and this was on the Vermont side, I believe. And she, as her family was setting up the picnic, she noticed across on the shore on the other side of the lake, something rise out of the water that looked like a dinosaur. So she snapped a photo before it submerged and disappeared. She's taken that photo for years all over America, doing lectures and talks. One of my buddies up in New York got to see her in person and hear her talk. And the thing is, I mean, first of all, in 1977, we didn't have CGI, and the type of photos she took would be hard to fake. But the Life magazine, Time magazine, Inquirer, all these magazines have offered her tons, buttloads of money to allow them to publish the photo. She has refused a single dime for this photo. She lets them publish it. She lets it be shared. She refuses to take any money. So she's not profiting off this photo whatsoever, but she's still to this day very adamant that what she saw was real. So to me, that adds to her credence that she's not, trying to use it to milk for money and all that. And my buddy got to meet her, talk to her, said she was a very level-headed woman. She was a family woman with no interest in the paranormal ever before her sighting. Wasn't even looking for the creature. She didn't, believe in stuff like that. But he found her very credible. And I'd love to hear her lecture one day about that photo. It's easy to find. Just put in Lake Champlain monster photo, and you can pull it up. It's been in books and all over. But she's refused. They've offered her tons of money. She could have been a wealthy woman off this thing, and she refused because she said that would just, take away the credence from the photo.
Right. Well, okay. I'm going to share then. It's a sea monster type thing, except this is not. Well, you just have to watch it. This is interesting, and the longest animal ever. Are you ready for this? The longest animal ever, right here. So let's watch this. So, what do you think about all that? Your mic is off again. Turn your mic on.
There, I've got it on. I was trying to keep out some of the echo while the video was playing. Yeah, I've been stung by jellyfish before. It wasn't very pleasant, but yeah, that's pretty remarkable, that thing. Winding all
We don't have a clue. Reality is we don't have a clue. And what we're calling the paranormal and what we're calling monsters, I think is just very much a part of life that we just don't know.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
don't know everything.
there's just things that are very small, and we don't have a complete understanding of it. We've been going right at an hour here. This is Abnormal Alabama. I am Kelsey, and that's good old Kevin Kane over there in the other thing, myhauntedDolls.com. He's written a couple of little books, about 10 or 11 of them, and they can be found on Amazon.com. I've written a few books myself, not all of them on the subject of the haunting and paranormal and that kind of stuff, but I've got a lot of books on relationship issues because that's kind of had a lot to do with my career. I've also got a few books on things that have to do with motivation and a good way to look at life and to progress in life and so forth. My books can be found at Amazon.com. Just search under my name. And Kevin's books can be found at Amazon.com as well. You can search for Kevin Kane. And you go to My Haunted Dolls. Kevin, how are you doing on your YouTube subscriptions?
There's 8 more to go, and then I'll have 1,000.
Just 8 more.
Just 8 more.
So that's great. People, get with it. We just need 8 more subscribers. Is Drew Wooten still with us out there? If he would be one more if he hadn't subscribed. My Haunted Dolls on YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button, and that bring him down to just 7. So he's getting so close. Gosh, Kevin, we've been working on this for a year.
If Kevin makes it to 1,000, I will give away a free T-shirt.
Oh,
yeah, and the T-shirt.
Let's put it this way: if Kevin makes it to 1,000, we will give away a free Future Corpse face mask.
Oh.
There you go. There you go. And we'll get a picture of Kevin wearing that face mask.
you can social distance with style with that Future Corpse mask.
Wow. Well, I'm very proud of you.
Right.
That's you haven't stolen any of those. You've earned those honestly.
Yeah.
Some people kind of play. I don't know that. I like to get myself honest subscribers, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's other ways to do it. I understand that, but I want people that are truly want to be part of what we're doing. If they don't, I'm not. It's not a game. I enjoy it. It can be a hobby or whatever, but I'm not in competition with anybody to try to outplay anybody. I'm just being me. And if you don't like me, and if you don't like Kevin, then change the channel, right?
Yeah, there's tons of YouTube channels out there, lots of good ones.
That's it. So you don't have to, but we appreciate it. If you like what we're doing and talking about, support us. Kevin's been working at home. He's had a little bit more time. And well, now he's getting settled in. How long before you think you're going to be unboxed over there, Kevin?
I don't know. There's a lot in the garage out there that's going to need to be trashed, put in the attic.
Have you got a 2-car garage now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's a pretty good size garage.
now
And of course, you got storage items that need to come in too.
I assume that your dad has a car,
Yeah, he's got an SUV, and he's
and
got his old truck that's parked outside.
what about your brother? Does he have a vehicle?
Yeah, he's got his car parked out there. We've got a huge driveway, so there's plenty of
Okay.
parking out there. And
Right.
the
Well,
driveway winds around the house to the back, so there's a lot of
space.
space.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what detained us for a couple of weeks. With him getting moved, closing, and all that stuff. And as you see, it looks like what we're seeing in that office is already kind of full. Except I'm very disappointed in the backdrop you got there because I'm not seeing the mask and the dolls.
Those are in the den in there.
You're gonna have to start live streaming from in there.
Yeah, I have to go in there and change it up and do it from my laptop, I guess.
There you go. Set you a little table up to put your computer on or something.
In fact, I kind of collected masks too. I've got several Michael Myers masks, so you'll get to see all of them on the shelf in there.
You're gonna have room for some stuff now.
I hope so.
So are you gonna start actively adding to your collection?
We'll have to see once I get everything in here what kind of space I have to work with. And
Well, your dad must have had a ton of stuff too.
he did. He had a house full of stuff.
Okay.
A lot of his. I'm afraid we're gonna once we start getting everything in the attic, we may run out of attic space pretty fast. I don't know.
Well, we have again, myhauntedolls.com will take you to everything that Kevin does. I think he got links to your books and to your YouTube and everything else. And same with us, Abnormal Alabama. We've got abnormalalabama.com. We've got Abnormal Alabama Facebook and on YouTube. We're a long ways from having 1,000 subscribers. If we get them, fine. I'm not freaking it out. But would love to have you join us. And I'm doing a lot of filming. The latest one I did was down in Prattville, and I'm going to be doing a follow-up video there about the swamp, Bear Creek Swamp, and planning a journey shortly to a place called Outlaw Mansion. And I'm very excited about that. And that's going to also take a drone flight over there. And then I was also reminded about a couple of things up in Jasper. I abandoned church for one. And then over kind of the other side of Talladega County is a witch's grave that I intend on visiting as well. So the places I go to do these little films, social distancing is not an issue because there's not a lot of people alive around cemeteries and so forth. So generally bumping into a lot of people there. But anyway, we're going to be adding to the mix. And if anybody has any places they'd like for me to go and do some films on, just message me through YouTube or Facebook, either one. And if it's doable, I'll be glad to do it. I love making these little videos. I'm not trying to be a Hollywood producer. I'm just giving some content. And for people that don't get to go out and see stuff, I'm not trying to make a in fact, it's very rare that I put myself in front of the camera. You know, on most of these videos, you never see my face and sometimes never even hear my voice. So this is kind of unusual what I do with Kevin on Tuesday nights, daring to put my face in front of the camera. And I know
still
Kevin,
am not brave enough.
Kevin is don't think that Kevin's under the impression that I talk all the time. I don't know where he gets that from. So 9, 8, 9, he just needs a few more subscribers over there, folks. Help Kevin out. I'm hoping that by us promoting Kevin like this, that maybe he'll take us out to a good dinner when the restaurants open back up. Right. Just have us over your house and we'll cook out hamburgers and hot dogs.
Oh, there you go. All right. Got a nice deck out back there. So, yeah,
there you go. Well, when things clear up, we'll have a lot of big plans of things to do. In the meantime, we got another hour here. Kevin, have you come up with something else to share with us?
Yeah, in fact, I messaged you a video. I couldn't get it YouTube
I'll
up on
do
the
it.
computer.
I'll do it. Let's see. There you go. The giant worm.
Yeah, this is another one.
There. Hold on. You want me to play this and then you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
So let me click a couple of buttons here and we'll make it happen. So everybody, we're going to talk about this large worm. We're going to watch a video about Iceland's Loch Ness monster. So I guess we're going to have to get past this ad first.
Well, America has Bigfoot, Nepal has the abominable snowman, and apparently Iceland has a giant worm monster. Seriously. Recently, an alleged sighting of the mystery beast caught on tape has reignited the myth, so ABC's Jeffrey Kaufman went to see if he could get a glimpse for himself.
Can you see it? That squiggly thing in the water? Suddenly, Iceland isn't laughing about its own version of the Loch Ness monster. In a country of odd natural wonders, and lots of ice and snow, they still talk of trolls and elves. But a lake monster? It was dismissed as a charming old legend until recently, when a local man nabbed this video of the mysterious monster with the mouth-garbling 16-letter Lagerflotsormer.
Welcome to Egglestadier. I think that's how you pronounce it.
A remote area of spectacular fjords and finger lakes.
Out there. Jeffrey. Very
First
nice to
stop,
meet you.
the witness. Piotr Karov, the sheep farmer who shot the now famous video. He lives on a ramshackle farm overlooking the lake where the monster, or worm as they call it, is said to live.
So how did the worm move when you saw it? What kind of movement did it make? Hvernig hreyfði þetta sig?
Þetta var bara svona eins og slanga.
Just like a snake? Like a snake.
Ringi í fréttamann sjónvarpsins.
He was having his morning coffee when he spotted the creature.
Just to be clear, you just had coffee for breakfast, nothing more to drink?
Já. Heyrðu, ég hef ekki smakkað áfengi 7 ár.
He hasn't tasted alcohol in 7 years.
He adds he's been told about the monster since he was a boy.
This is a very old monster.
Very old.
Who better than the local historian to fill us in?
He was looking at a map from 1595. It just said in this lake lives a huge monster that often appears when something dreadful is going to happen.
One troubling detail, ancient records and historic sightings suggest the monster is miles long with a hump back. The creature in Piotr's video is big, but not that big.
Do you know anyone who's seen the monster?
Yeah, I know. Actually, I know a couple of people that have seen the monster. Yeah, and people that I believe in. My mother-in-law, she has seen the monster, for example. I don't doubt that.
Nobody's ever going to question a mother-in-law's sighting of a monster.
Some think what you're seeing here is just ice from the spring thaw. Others think it's just a fishing net.
Do you believe that there really is a Lagerflotsorm?
Not as a living creature. I think it's impossible.
Why?
Because a living creature have to have something to eat.
Well, aren't there fish in there?
There's a fish, but I don't think it's enough for a big creature.
But then he offers this.
When I drive around the lake looking for birds or reindeer, I always look over and I have my camera to be if I see something.
So you don't believe it, but you're prepared to be for the possibility.
Yes.
Which brings us back to Hjorter, the farmer, who can be surprisingly philosophical from his perch overlooking the lake.
Do you believe it?
It's a yes and no question, says the farmer. When they say God exists, I mean you've never seen him. Does the Lagerflotsormer exist? Well, you have to believe. One of the few people who've ever seen it. I'm Jeffrey Kaufman for Nightline on the shores of Lagerflots in Egglestadier, Iceland.
All right. So, what do you got to say about all that?
And what do you think of that thing? I mean, it looks like it's the video. It looks like it's swimming like a large snake or serpent would do, and
Go ahead.
it definitely it has the appearance of something living. Recently, now the reports of this monster, and this is astounding. The reports of this monster in Iceland go back to the year 1345. So this legend has been around for hundreds of years.
Well,
but it increased exponentially after this home video that we just watched went viral, and they're saying it looks like that thing, or it's been described as 90 meters in length with many humps, and it's also been reported outside the water, lying coiled up or slithering into the trees, which I don't know. I didn't see any trees, and well, I guess there were a few covered with ice there, but in ancient times, they considered the sightings of the creature to be preceding a great event such as a natural disaster. But yeah, this thing's been around a long time, and some experts have tried to say this was actually nothing more than some frozen piece of cloth. But the way that thing was moving was like it had a mind of its own.
Well, first of all, the old artist depiction that the one guy showed on that map and whatnot kind of resembled what started this whole program tonight, what the lady caught on her camera down in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. They all kind of had that snake look type of thing going on there. Second of all, I've done a lot of boating on the ocean and in rivers. I lived on a houseboat for a while in my life, so I'm not unfamiliar with the illusion you can get on the surface of the water of different things. But the caveat to that is that even though I've seen, okay, there are things that can float in the water, like even a piece of rope, literally, that will give the illusion of being alive, the way the currents are making it move through there. But the caveat is that I know that we don't know everything that's in the water. Okay. Just like I'm convinced we don't know everything that lives on the planet anywhere. We think we do. But you look at what we're finding now, like that, what I just showed, which is a known creature. What was that, 150 feet long?
They're saying 90 meters long is what it's.
No, I'm talking about that string-like one.
Oh, the one earlier. Yeah. 100 and something.
So, I mean, that's real. I mean, they know that. That's not a myth. It's like there's a scientific name for it. They understand it. They've studied it. So what's to say that creature, that there's some other form of a similar creature that is big around as a telephone pole?
Oh, yeah.
That, I mean, we just don't know. The depth of the oceans, like you said, some sections are so deep and so dark that we just haven't really been able to dig much down in there. So I can't say. That one, the film he made, is it I can see where people would question it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that it's not true, but it wasn't that large from the video, from the perspective I saw. Did you think it was large?
I mean, it looked maybe like, I don't know, 20, 25 feet. It wasn't.
You think
it wasn't 90 feet long?
Yeah. Well, that baby, they don't start out that length, I'd assume. Like a baby snake is real small. Baby alligator is real small. You ever seen a baby alligator? I mean, you can feel it, and they end up being this huge creature.
Yeah.
So who knows?
When I was talking about the giant squid earlier, they said those baby giant squid are 10 feet long. So
baby giant squid are 10 feet long.
So that's 10 feet. Let's go look at mama and daddy. They got to be.
I started to say that'd be a hell of a childbirth thing to go through. And women think they got it bad giving birth to a human.
No. A big-headed baby.
God Almighty! In the world we live in, it's the things we just don't know, the things we discover. And we don't really expend a lot of our energies investigating these things, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's so much. It's just like, of course, right now our focus on research is trying to find a vaccine for this COVID-19. And so we're being led in these different directions. And then you find people like some researcher that really wants to get into finding what these sea monsters are or whatnot. They problem they have is that no matter how sincere they are, they kind of get scoffed at by the scientific community, and that kind of hinders their research ability because they can't get research dollars, they can't get support with it. So that's always hindered like that until somebody comes along and actually gets something. I had the other day, I'll share this story. We're talking about cryptids and whatnot. So somebody had posted on one of the Facebook sites groups about Bigfoot, which was looked like a beaver claw. They said that they were hiking and they caught a mountain lion gnawing away on this hand, and they chased the mountain lion away, and the hand um, they were trying to identify as a Bigfoot hand.
Oh.
The problem was the hand was laying on the ground in blades of grass. So there was no other way to determine how big this hand was except for the blades of grass that it was laying on. So I saw that, and I also saw a picture of a beaver's hand, and they were the same. So I went outside and laid my hand on my grass in the front yard and took a picture of it. And I said, look at this, the blades of grass. My hand is very normal sized hand, and clearly this is not a big hand in that picture. That was either a very small Bigfoot or it's a beaver's hand. And so that was kind of an interesting thing. I think the problem is some people want to believe so bad that they'll just buy into anything and not think about it. And then other people are so skeptical they will refute anything. And so you run across this battle constantly. But your dolls do talk. I've heard that.
Oh, yeah.
I bet they're screaming in there. Has there been any? How old is the home you're living in now?
It was built in 1988, and it used to be a horse ranch.
Okay.
In fact, the prior owner, I believe they boarded horses here.
So is there any history of hauntings or anything on the property?
Not that I've heard yet.
It will be before you're over. 100 years from now, there'll be kids going into that abandoned property talking about this guy that had haunted dolls. You know what you need to do to really mess with them is you need to cut into one of your walls and hide a doll or something and just seal it back up. So it can be discovered 100 years from now. Plant some creepy stuff to scare kids, because one day you're going to die. The property's going to be abandoned, and there'll be kids snooping around doing YouTube stuff, and you can have fun with it after you're dead.
After I'm dead. That'd be great fun. Okay.
So what do we got now? You got anything else to share with us here?
It'll give you something to do as a ghost.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because we know you're not going to heaven. They don't let ghost hunters in heaven. You know that, right?
Do what?
They don't let ghost hunters don't go to heaven.
Oh, yeah. I bet they do. I bet they do.
No, especially ones that talk to dolls. God looks at that and finds it repulsive. God, oh, no, get away from me. All right. Come on with some story. We got 40 minutes to go here. Share a good story with us.
Here's one about a monster shark. Have you heard about the submarine shark? I'm sure you've heard about Megalodon, but in current years, there have been some sightings of what they've called a submarine shark, not quite the size of a megalodon. Megalodons were believed to get anywhere from 60 to 100 feet long, but they're believed to be extinct now. But submarine shark, we're talking jaws here. We're talking 35 feet in length, like the size of a small sub. And they've actually caught film, looks like, last year. Man, August 2019 was a busy time for sea monsters because this is the third story I've got here from August, September of 2019. It says a team of researchers has captured incredible footage of a close encounter with an ancient species of shark known as the blue-nosed sixgill. The team, led by Dean Grubbs from Florida State University, were conducting dives in a submersible called Nadir as part of an expedition organized by Ocean X to tag one of the sharks in their deep sea environment. During one of the dives, the team were fortunate to come up close and personal with a huge female bluenose, one of the largest sharks in the world, which one of the researchers in the video can be heard describing as definitely bigger than the sub is long. That's a big shark. The sub crew were left in a state of awe by the encounter. My goodness, that is amazing, one of the team members commented, while another can be heard saying, "This is a monster, she's huge." At one point, the shark even tries to nibble on the spear gun attached to Nadir, which is the submarine. The bluenose is part of an old lineage of sharks that can be traced back 180 million years in the fossil record. In fact, it represents perhaps the oldest living lineage of sharks in the world, according to researchers. They are highly distinctive due to the fact that they have 6 large, conspicuous gill slits, hence the name sixgill. Most sharks only have 5. They have a single dorsal fin that is placed far back on the midline near the tail. Gavin Naylor, one of the scientists on the expedition from Florida Program for Shark Research at the Florida Museum of Natural History, said, they are reported to grow over 16 feet long and weigh more than a ton. They are live-bearing. Females can have over 80 pups in a litter. They are likely primarily carrion feeders, but may also take live prey when the opportunity arises. And females are larger than the males. So let's get down here. It says they usually live at depths of between 650 and 3,300 feet. So they usually stay pretty deep, although they have also been spotted up to 5,000 feet below the surface. Researchers know very little about this mysterious species, and tagging them could enable scientists to learn more about their biology and behavior. So let's go down here and see. Here we go. We began this project in 2005 to begin investigating whether deep sea sharks caught and brought to the surface survive if released. Since this time, we have tagged more than 20 blue-nosed sixgill sharks with archiving satellite tags and another 50 with simple identification tags. But all these were tagged by bringing the sharks to the surface and tagging them alongside the boat, or even bringing them back onto the deck of the ship. So that kind of, and it says the tagging revealed to the researchers that nearly all blue-nosed sixgill survived being caught and brought to the surface. Furthermore, it showed that intriguingly, these sharks vertically migrate every day and night, so they're constantly on the move. But yeah, this thing, and we're talking about a shark that's the size of a small submarine here. Sounds like it's bigger than 16 feet to me. But I mean, that's bigger than the average great white shark. So it looks like the fabled submarine shark actually exists in the guise of the sixgill shark that they've discovered here. And that just goes to show we were saying earlier about we don't know what all is underneath, down deep in the ocean. And here's this group of scientists that's working to kind of bring those things up to see what we can find out more about down there. So I wonder what else they'll bring up besides giant sharks down there.
I don't know, but do you know what's standing behind you there, Kevin?
What's standing behind me? What's
Oh, disappeared.
I haven't shown. You can look a little around the room here.
Throw us around the room there.
See, I can't.
You gotta go further than that.
Well, my computer is hooked up in this hutch, so I can't go.
Oh, you don't have an external camera.
Nah, this is the camera. I've got an external here. I didn't even think to hook it up. Here it is right here. I should have hooked it up.
You should have hooked that. That's the same one I've got right there. I got a little miniature tripod on my desk with that same camera hooked up. So, yeah. Well, gosh, there are literally monsters everywhere you go.
Oh yeah, all over land or sea.
And let's see, there is. Now you're from Alabama. You spent your entire life in Alabama. You never lived anywhere else.
No.
And I know we've been talking about sea monsters and lake monsters and whatnot. What about what they call the white thing? What's the white thing?
The white thing, that's something that's a thing that's white. Isn't it?
Okay. So it's opposite of the black thing. Okay. Well, the white thing is a big thing in Alabama.
Yeah, Morgan County, Alabama had some sightings.
Up in Decatur.
Uh-huh.
Morgan County, Hartselle, Decatur, up in that area.
Yep. Let's see. So what is the white thing?
You've heard of the white thing.
There's a lot of stuff out here. Even, here's WBRC6 has an article out here. This must be our state's most famous cryptid.
It is. That's what I understand. It's a thing. The white thing is a thing.
They say it's 7 to 8 feet tall and covered in thick white hair. And some people say it looks more like a white lion. But they say it's a tall white creature standing roughly 7, 8.
Oops.
It resembles a kangaroo with the head of a cat. Huh. All kinds of varying descriptions there. Looks like despite being gigantic in stature, it's allegedly known for its ability to move extremely quickly. Some have reported that even though it stands on 2 legs, it runs on all 4s. Many people claim the creature sounds like a woman screaming, and others report a foul odor like that of a dead animal, and it fills the air when the creature is around. Whatever it is, the Alabama white thing has certainly caught the attention of many Alabama residents. I've heard stories in Walker County about a creature like that screams it sounds like a woman screaming that they've heard deep in the woods. Let's see here. The legend of the white thing has been a staple of the state's folklore since the early 1900s, so it's been around a while. Yeah, looks like it occurred. Most of the sightings are in a triangle between Morgan, Etowah, and Jefferson counties.
Gadsden, Birmingham, and Decatur.
Ooh, there might be one outside my door here.
Especially.
But some of these descriptions I never heard of. Somebody said it resembled a kangaroo with the head of a cat. I've never heard that one, but I've heard
Well, there is the depiction of it that way. You see it?
Yeah, it's the same picture I have.
Yeah, and then there's that one, which is more like a strange-looking, almost a ghost-like Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's like the abominable snowman.
Yeah. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
So there is. I'm with you. There's all kind of stories about the white thing, Alabama white thing. I've heard that. Have you ever seen the white thing?
I have actually seen it.
So she says she's seen it.
Oh,
I was coming home late one night from work or school. I can't remember.
Probably from the bar.
No, I don't drink. And it was in the middle of the road. At first, I thought it was a horse. It was so huge, and talking about scaring the devil out of you.
So
Let me ask you a question.
what did it look like?
It was huge. It was white, and like I said, I thought it was a horse at first, and it went across the road and disappeared.
So Kevin, you've never seen anything like that?
No, I've never seen the white thing before, and I'm looking to see if there's anybody's captured any pictures or video, but I don't see anything out here yet.
Have you ever seen anything like it, Kelsey?
No, all I've ever found about the white thing was just artist depictions and stories.
Yeah.
In fact, the Bear Creek, where I went the other day, the Bear Creek Swamp, which I didn't get to the swamp itself, by the way, there are some stories about the Alabama white thing being around that swamp there. Um,
Maybe you should look for some footprints while you're there again.
Yeah, I would fly my drone through there, but I'm scared I'll lose it. Through the swamp. I'm not going to go walking through the swamp. I know that. So Alabama white thing. Go ahead, y'all. And while I'm looking at something,
I'm having a little bit of internet problem. It's storming here.
oh, I don't think it ever stormed here. Of course, I'm secluded in my air office. What can I say? Albino Bigfoot, somebody calls it.
Yeah.
So there are, real quick here, 5, and we probably covered some of this before, 5 different mythical creatures that reportedly roam Alabama's back roads. And I've just shared the picture. Gosh, this one. Okay, this you got to see. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get this to you because I've never heard of this one. I'm coming across some new stuff tonight, Kevin.
Uh-oh.
So let's see if you've seen this one. Give me a second to get it loaded up here. This is quite interesting. Tell me if you've seen baby girl here.
Oh, the wolf woman. No, I haven't seen that before.
Okay.
Not
So
seen that.
appeared in 1971 in the Press Register of Mobile. Oh, Mobile has. I'm concerned about those people down in Mobile. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's all that Mardi Gras.
So this drawing of the wolf woman of Mobile appeared in the 1971 edition of the Press Register in Mobile, and we've already talked about the Alabama white thing. Mythical creatures reported to roam Alabama. Jim Smith, by the way, who just passed away last year. Are you familiar with who he was, Kevin?
I think I've heard that before.
He did Good Old Country Boy from East Alabama, Jim Smith, and he called his thing the Alabama Bigfoot Society. And he did it. You familiar with him?
Okay, yeah. Wait.
But anyway, he just passed away last year, and his wife had just recently restarted doing some of his videos. But he had found large tracks in the sand of a large creek in East Alabama, and that he attributed, of course, to Sasquatch. He was very well known, and he did a lot of historical type stuff, whatever. And so anyway, he's mentioned along with those mythical creatures. I know you've heard of Huggin' Molly.
Oh yeah.
Hugging children and screaming in their ears. That sounds like my dad. And did you know there was a Hugging Molly restaurant in Abbeville?
I didn't know that.
Eatery designed around this witch-like creature. Mythical creatures. Jim Smith is all in here. So
Yeah, chair. See, I remember seeing him before.
Yeah. So this girl I've got up here now, the story, she was beautiful. She was exotic. Would you say that? Would you be attracted to her, Kevin?
And I think I'd be a little bit scared of this one.
Well, she's described as beautiful, exotic, and hairy. Do you like hairy women?
No, not really.
No, really. So, a creature dubbed the Woman of Mobile made her appearance to people along Davis Avenue in the community of Plateau, according to reports in the press register at the time. Witnesses described the creature as having the lower body of a wolf and the head of a woman. She was seen at night stalking residents, but never harmed anyone. The wolf woman is one of several mythical creatures Alabamians have reported seeing over the years. There's a lot more to the story. Witnesses describe the creature as pretty and hairy. So you're not into pretty, hairy women, Kevin?
Not Harry. No.
We
You like-
have
Huh?
we have a message from a Tom. He says, I live in Mobile area and led a haunted history walking tour in downtown Mobile for several years.
Uh-huh.
The Wolf Woman was one of our favorite stories.
Oh, really? Is he on Facebook?
That was his comment.
Is he on Facebook
Yes.
or YouTube? He's on Facebook?
Yeah, he's on Facebook.
Okay. All right.
Facebook.
And what's his name? Okay. So witness described pretty and hairy and the top half
His
woman.
name was Tom.
Thank you for sharing that. Unnamed teenagers quoted saying, my daddy saw it down in a marsh and it chased him home. Now my mommy keeps all the doors and windows locked. One witness heard the creature had escaped from a circus sideshow. I remember back in the day when I was a kid in North Alabama, Limestone County, we had those little fairs that would come around to back then, what was the Big K shopping, the parking lot at the Big K store, which, and they would always have that one trailer that had a strange, like an oddity shop today, except it would have some strange, a mummified body in a that sort of stuff, you know. We don't see that kind of stuff much. Of course, now we have some oddity shops. Porter said the fear of witnesses seemed real, although the initial reports would have begun on, well, of all things, April Fool's Day. The police were getting calls also, and although officers would not make an official comment, they did take the time to investigate to determine what exactly Mobile citizens were seeing. Sightings of half wolf, half human have been reported throughout history, with the werewolf being the most common incarnation. The legends of anthropomorphic creatures stem from American Indian folklore and capture the imagination. Within days, sightings of the wolf woman of Mobile stopped and have not been reported since. So it could have been, at the end of the day, nothing more than an April Fool's thing that caught on. Smith reports sightings on the group website, including the latest one in Daviston in September, describes what we're talking about Sasquatch here, has been the area bent or snapped trees or trees arranged in teepee shape. What do you think, Kevin? We're kind of getting off on a different subject than we started, even though it's all cryptid and not haunted thing. But a lot of the Bigfoot researchers, and I know you've been around some of them, and you've, what do you think about what they find, tree limbs and that kind of stuff? Do you think that would be a legitimate indication of some kind of Sasquatch or Bigfoot or other kind of cryptid out there? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't want to poo-poo on there. on their research and work they do. But yeah, I've never been impressed by that because I mean anything could break that tree over.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I've jokingly have gone down country roads, and you always see broken limbs, especially that's just what nature does.
Yeah.
And so I've jokingly said to myself, "Oh, Bigfoot's been here."
Yeah.
I would have to have a lot more evidence, even though some of these TP-looking structures, it's very interesting. You wonder what took place in the environment to create that kind of structure, huh?
Yeah, now when you see them bent over into a structure, that's a little bit different. It makes me kind of wonder. I don't know if I'd go straight to Bigfoot, but it makes. I mean, now people can go along and do that. I mean, I remember playing in the woods behind my house. We kids would do weird things with the trees and stuff, and so you never know if that's a person or if that could be a Bigfoot thing. It's just I don't know. Just by itself, it's not enough evidence for me. I know.
Yeah.
But I like to believe there's some kind of creature out there we don't know about. That doesn't necessarily mean I don't believe in Bigfoot. I've often wondered what's out there, and I think there might just be some kind of animal we haven't been able to identify yet. Could be some kind of ape creature or something. I know back in South America, it was Central or South America, they had fossils that proved that there were apes that grew up to 10 feet tall. So, I mean, it's not completely impossible that happened. It's happened in the past.
Well, I'm looking at. I'm sorry.
What do you call that type of species of apes and monkeys? Primates.
Primate. Well, we're a primate.
Yeah. I mean, it could be
primate.
Sort of primate. We just don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm back on this Alabama white thing, and this kind of fascinates me here is in Huntsville, the Alabama white thing describes a humanoid, possibly alien figure spotted in caves or drainage ditches in Jones Valley along Governor's Drive and on Monsanto Mountain. The creature is described as having no eyes or ears and being completely white. And there are a team of researchers that created a Facebook page called, of all things, Alabama White Thing. With all the, this is kind of what's kind of caught my attention somewhat. All the people that's doing all this research now, and with all the cameras, all of our devices you push a button and you're doing a film, camera pointed both ways, right? And these cameras on these things are really better than the cameras I grew up with. You would think we'd have a lot more evidence at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not taking it away. It's a major question. It's like you go through, and even on YouTube and on Facebook, and it's like there's got to be hundreds and thousands of people out here looking for Bigfoot and Sasquatch, and we're not getting anywhere except for finding broken limbs and occasional footprint. So I find that kind of troubling.
Yeah.
And there's people, and if you listen to some of the people that's spoken at some of the events about Bigfoot, some are saying that, well, Bigfoot detects a camera. Okay, have you heard that before?
No, yeah, I remember hearing that.
So I don't know, but it's like, gosh, I would say that Bigfoot's a lot smarter than we are.
Apparently so.
In fact, they are the social distancing experts.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about Kevin and what he's done in his life. I forget how many years now have you had, you've kind of had a lifelong interest in all things paranormal, but your haunted dolls came more recently in life.
Yeah, that came in 2013 is when I got my first haunted doll. So yeah, that was a lot later. Um, but I've been interested in ghosts and ghost stories since I was a little kid and grew up in a kind of a spooky house in a spooky neighborhood on Indian territory ground, Cherokee Indian.
And you've got a book going talking about your childhood somewhat, don't you?
Yeah, The Legends of Indian Narrows, Ghostly Childhood Memoirs. That's in paperback, and now it's on audiobook narrated by me. So you can go out there and get an audiobook and listen to me read the stories from the book.
Yeah.
So that,
If you
yeah,
just joined us, we have been working for over a year to get Kevin's YouTube channel up to 1,000 subscribers. He is now, check it real quick while we're talking. See if we got any new subscribers real quick. He's within less than this of having the 1,000 he needs. And we need you to go there. And
yeah, still got 8 more. It's at 992, so it's still got 8 more.
8 more is all he needs, folks. And I know 8 people are going to be watching this that haven't subscribed. So go over there and then go to Abnormal Alabama and hit the subscribe button for us as well. Don't be chinchy with that. We need your help.
Yes, we do. We need help.
Thank you for joining us, guys. Strange Journeys. Appreciate you joining us tonight. So Kevin has been involved in this for some time. And let's see, something else was just shared with me a minute ago. And going back to the Alabama sea monsters, large mammals do roam the coastal waters, but they're nothing to be afraid of. I'm not going to read through all that. That's quite lengthy. So Kevin started collecting all of these dolls. So much so that he had to get rid of his garden home and move into a palatial estate to house these dolls. And he's going to have gates. He's trying to compete with Elvis's Graceland, and he's going to call his Doll Land. On the front gates is going to be dolls. Okay. And so he's got a hell of a collection going. What you said over 300 dolls?
Yeah, I mean, last count it was over 200, and that was a couple of years ago. So, yeah, by now it's going to be over 300.
When you pack these up, you didn't inventory them?
Inventory them? This ain't Walmart. This is.
I thought it'd be the perfect time for you to go through and say, okay, here's Susie.
We were trying to get them out because the next day we were trying to get the house set up for showing. So
did your dad help you pack those dolls up?
My sister did.
Okay. Your dad probably doesn't want to touch them.
Nah. Yeah, she helped me the night before, and he was going to come bring some. We got the dolls out. He brought over a guest bed that we could put it in there to, make it look like a guest room for the house showing.
See, this is you got to watch Kevin because he's a little bit of a perv.
A perv. What's that got to do
with his dolls?
A perv.
See, this is why you got to subscribe to his YouTube channel because he needs to put up there for adults only. Because he lays down with his dolls and he's
somebody put a mute button on him. All those lies.
But he has a great fondness and attachment. And I've heard, and he's got on there a lot of EVP and spirit box work he's done. There's some pretty phenomenal stuff. Are you still going to be doing your little podcast things of stories?
Yeah, I'm gonna still do that.
So you got to get. I guess your issue now is to kind of get back in a routine, huh?
Yeah, and I got to figure out where, so I'm not disturbing anybody else, where around here I can kind of lock myself away and do those. And like spirit boxes, I mean, when I was living by myself, I could do that anytime, at night with the volume up. Now I got to be cautious. There's two other people living here, so I'm going to figure out how to get that. Might have to go. We have a really big attic. I could always go up there in the creepy attic and
those things that happen.
Sessions.
I've heard stories about it. Oh my goodness! Tell us about your books. We got a few minutes here, so promote your books.
All right, yeah. The latest one, Crimson, the Blood Painting, based on a real actual painting that hung in the house of a witch in Salem, Massachusetts, and now hangs in my home. I've got it hanging up in my new home here in my den. Crimson, the Blood Painting, a novel based on this painting that's said to still have a creepy spiritual attachment to it. And of course, I embellish on that for the novel. So check that out. And that's also an audiobook performed by voice actress Lynn R. Thomas, who does a fantastic job. So you can get that on Audible or Amazon, iTunes. But paperback, go to myhauntedolls.com for an autographed copy, or you can get it on Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble. And then if you want to know more about the Haunted Dolls and what got me into collecting, you got My Haunted Collection in paperback, myhauntedolls.com. I've got those out there, and then anywhere books are sold online. And these are also on Kindle. If you do ebook, these are on Kindle. All of my books are. And check out the YouTube page, My Haunted Dolls, Kevin Kane, or just go to the website, My Haunted Dolls, and follow the link on the link page, and you can see the videos and EVPs I've caught from some of my haunted items in my collection and the stories behind them.
Only needs 8 more subscribers, and Miss Catherine said that she would donate a T-shirt or a Future Corpse face mask to anybody to anybody that becomes the 1,000th subscriber. So if you subscribe, if it comes to $999 and you hit the subscribe button and make it 1,000, you need to immediately contact us and let us know, and we'll verify that with Mr. Kevin, and we'll take care of business from there.
All right.
Kevin is now working from home. I hope everybody's safe. This has been a heck of a year. I did legitimately, and I try to promote this a little bit, but I don't promote it enough. But I legitimately predicted that 2020 will be the year of disasters. Legitimately, I've never put out what I predicted for a year before. On Coast to Coast AM, around the end of the year, they do this prediction thing. They have different psychics and different people. What are you predicting for 2020? And I am the one that put out it's going to be the year of disasters. It's on my website. And put out a couple other things that's coming true as well. So you've got to understand you're talking to the man right here. And I am the only true prophet in existence in 2020 because I don't like what I had to predict. It's not that I wanted to see this come true, but unfortunately, we're now entering into half the year. This has been a hell of a year. Have you seen anything like this before in your lifetime, Kevin?
No, I have not. I've seen hurricanes and tidal waves and earthquakes and wars and September 11, 2001. But this is the first flu disease that I've seen.
This is a worldwide pandemic, and it's bad when Disney World and Disneyland shut down for weeks.
Yeah, the land of the happy.
They have temporarily shut down for a day or two because of a hurricane, but this is going, to some serious time. when Disney shuts down, it's the end of the world.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm still alive. I don't.
Are you sure? Are you absolutely
Yes, I'm
positive
sure.
that you're
I'm
alive?
absolutely positive.
How do you know?
Yes, because I'm right here on camera. Look at this.
Yeah, but
We got video evidence.
you've never caught a ghost on camera. How do you know you're not a ghost?
I think I'm pretty much a ghost. Look at this.
Yeah,
I think I would have evaporated.
I think I need to slap you to make sure you're real. All right, we're gonna be back next Tuesday night.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we will come up with what we're going to talk about. Kevin did a real good job on this tonight with that video of that sea monster down in Florida. And go back and watch this, and you'll see what we're talking about. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, join us on Facebook, join us on YouTube, subscribe there. Help. I don't have any other job. I was doing events and weddings, and that's gone. Right now, that's not going to happen. Can't, 10 people most, and they got to be 6 feet apart from each other. That means you got to rent a space that's bigger than Kevin's estate just to hold 10 people. Bottom line is, people, be safe, be careful, and be happy with what you got. Fortunately, most of us are pretty healthy. Are you healthy, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm still healthy.
Yep. So be glad of that. And got anything else to say for tonight before we shut it down?
Just go to myhaunteddogs.com, buy books. Go to My Haunted Dogs, YouTube, Kevin Kane. Like, subscribe, share.
Oh yeah, believe me, his utility bill has gone up astronomically now that he's got this huge estate. I don't even want to talk about what your power bill is going to be out there. You need to invest
my dad said,
you need to invest in some solar panels.
My dad said he's going to help out a little bit on that. So, but we'll see.
Okay.
We're trying to be conservative around here with it.
Well, whenever you feel comfortable doing it, invite me over. I'll bring some video camera and let you give us a walking tour of your estate. And
okay.
I'm looking forward to seeing the special room you've got set up for your mini haunted dolls. That's going to be special. And his dad even donated a special bed. I don't know why dolls need a bed, but I guess they need a bed.
Yeah. Well, that was at the other house. That was to make a mock guest room for the showings. But
yes.
Oh, and well, we have a room here, so.
So are you going to write any other books?
Yeah, I've already most of the way through the one about my haunted collection, The Dark Side. So yeah, I'm still working on that.
How many pages is it going to be, do you think?
Over 100, probably about like this one.
So most of your books around 100, 120 pages, something like that?
The nonfiction, the novels are 250, 300 and something pages, but yeah, these nonfiction ones are usually about 120, 150 pages.
All right. Blood painting, how many pages is in that book?
Let's see. There are 285 pages in this one.
Oh, that's a pretty good book then, yeah. And you got it on, I'm sorry?
The Patty Doll novel, I know it's about it's about 380 pages, I believe, or 350 right in there. That's a big book.
Your novels are quite a bit longer than your other books.
Yeah.
Double and
definitely.
Triple. Yeah. All right, Amazon.com, myhaunteddogs.com, abnormalalabama.com. Subscribe, help us out. We're starving. Well, I know you look at our bellies and you don't think we're starving, but remember, the bigger your belly, the more food it takes to keep it happy. All right, we're going to shut it down at 9 p.m. here. And I hope everybody has a good evening. Be safe and enjoy the life you have, because as you know, you don't have a clue what's going to happen tomorrow. And things happen. So enjoy the moments, enjoy your peoples and your families and your loved ones. And we look forward. In fact, we will talk about it and see when Kevin wants to, but we might do some more remote viewing stuff on a Friday night if Kevin wants to do that with us. So there you go.
Good night.
All right.
Buenas
Good
noches.
night.
Say good night, Kevin.
Good night. Good night, Kevin.